Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Virtual University, I welcome you once again to lecture number 4 of Data Communication. So students, कैसे हैं आप लोग? I hope you're going to be fine and you have enjoyed all the previous lectures that we have already taken on data communication. Before we actually start off with the discussion of today's lecture, I just wanted to make a point. कुछ emails मिली कुछ students ने ये पूछा है कि they would just want to clarify about the status of the textbooks that we are using. So dear students, textbooks जो मैं आपको suggested reading देता हूँ after the end of every lecture, they are normally from couple of textbooks. पहली जो है वो जैसा कि आपको मालूम है that is from Data Communication and Networking by Behrouz Firoza, जो कि हमारी main textbook है, जिसके लिए मैंने आपको बोला था कि you have to actually have that textbook, the second edition of that textbook. Or then some of the suggested readings are also from Data and Computer Communication by William Stallings, the 6th edition of that book. तो दोनों books को हम लोग cover कर रहे हैं. Basically what we are going to do is we are going to follow the first book, Data Communication and Networking by Behrouz Firoza, and that is our main textbook. और कुछ topics जो कि मैं ज़रूरत समझूंगा कि they need more clarification, I'll go and pick them up from the Data and Computer Communication by William Stallings 6th edition. उससे मैं उठाकर थोड़े से lectures में वो जो है ना components वो शामिल करूंगा आपके लिए. तो main book that we are going to follow, the answer to that question is Behrouz Firoza, Data Communication and Networking 2nd edition. Now dear students, before we actually move on to today's lecture, let's move on first to the previous lecture. Let's have a recap of what we went through the last time. थोड़ा सा जरा चल के देखते हैं कि last time हम लोगों ने क्या पढ़ा. We are actually about to arrive on a very important stage of our course, जिसपे हमें एकदम से we have to make a jump from the basic of our course to the later topics of our course. तो इससे पहले कि हम आगे चलें, पीछे चल के देखते हैं कि अभी तक हमने lectures में क्या कुछ cover कर चुके हैं. We started off in the very beginning with the simple definition of data communication. Data communication system के बारे में थोड़ा सा हम लोगों ने जाना, कुछ systems देखे, कुछ बहुत ही ज़्यादा simple view में कुछ basic components पढ़े, किन components को मिलाकर हम एक data communication system जो है वो constitute कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद then we moved forward network को देखा कि कौन से ऐसे हालात हैं जिनके तहत हमें data communication के बाद एक network की ज़रूरत पेश आती है. नेटवर्क जो है वो कौन से एलिमेंट्स हैं जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करते हैं, कौन से एलिमेंट्स हैं जो मिलकर नेटवर्क बनाते हैं. व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय दोज एलिमेंट्स, व्हाट आर दोज एलिमेंट्स एंड हाउ डू वी कैन मेक देम कम्युनिकेट इन द नेटवर्क. देन वी वेंट अहेड एंड टॉक्ड अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट सम ऑफ द कम्युनिकेशन टास्क्स. हमने अपने कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम को समराइज किया था पिछले लेक्चर में. ये थोड़ी सी बात की थी कि इन समरी, इन मेकिंग ऑल दैट समराइज, how can we perform all the tasks that are needed in a communication system. कुछ पढ़ा के addressing की ज़रूरत होती है, फिर routing कुछ देखी, transmission system के क्या tasks हैं, error detection कैसे होती है, इस तरह काफ़ी ज़्यादा tasks हम लोगों ने study किया. Then we moved on to the concept of a protocol. What do we mean by a protocol? Why we need a protocol? Why do actually we need that set of rules कि जिसको हमने protocol का नाम दिया, to actually make two devices communicate with each other. कुछ elements भी देखे, protocol के key elements कौन से होते हैं, syntax, semantics और timing, उनकी थोड़ी सी examples भी study की. Then we went over to the main idea of the characteristics of a protocol. थोड़ा सा देखा कि protocol जो हैं वो किस type के हो सकते हैं, what are the different types of a protocol, what are the different types of a protocol architecture. हमें प्रोटोकॉल आर्किटेक्चर की ज़रूरत क्यों पेश आती है और हम इस प्रोटोकॉल आर्किटेक्चर को एक सिंपल सा कम्युनिकेशन टास्क को परफॉर्म करने के लिए कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करा सकते हैं. माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, ये सब कुछ सारी डिस्कशन जो है वी विल एक्चुअली क्लोज आउट दैट डिस्कशन टुडे विद अ लिटिल बिट मोर डिस्कशन अबाउट द कम्युनिकेशन स्टैंडर्ड्स. लास्ट टाइम हम लोगों ने स्टैंडर्ड्स की थोड़ी सी बात की थी अबाउट व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रोटोकॉल्स. तो हमने ये पढ़ा था कि स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल्स और नॉन स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल्स में क्या फर्क है. आज हम इन जनरल स्टैंडर्ड्स का को थोड़ा सा स्टडी करेंगे, देखेंगे कि व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय स्टैंडर्ड्स, कौन सी ऐसी एजेंसीज और कौन से ऐसे फोरम्स और कौन सी ऐसी कमेटीज हैं, कौन सी ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं दैट एक्चुअली डील इन मेकिंग दो स्टैंडर्ड्स, इन ये स्टैंडर्ड्स के बनने का प्रोसेस क्या होता है, देन हाउ आर दो स्टैंडर्ड्स मेड लीगल, अगर इन स्टैंडर्ड्स की कोई टाइप्स हैं तो वो क्या हैं. देन वी विल मूव इनटू अ स्लाइटली डिफरेंट मोड टुडे. अभी तक हम लोगों ने, इट वाज अ बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द ऑफ द कोर्स एंड ऑफ अ डाटा कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम. ये एक बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन थी इस बात के लिए, आपको ये समझाने के लिए, कुछ आपको ये बताने के लिए कि अगले लेक्चर्स में हम लोग किस तरह से प्रोसीड करेंगे, किन किन स्टेप्स को, किन किन एल्गोरिदम्स को और किन किन लॉजिक्स को, ब्लॉक्स को लेके चलेंगे स्टडी करने के लिए. अब इस जगह पे बिफोर वी कैन एक्चुअली मूव इनटू द एक्चुअल ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ डेटा, कि किस तरह से डेटा ट्रांसमिट करता है फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट टू द अदर, वी विल लुक इनटू द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ द डिवाइसेस इन अ नेटवर्क. डिवाइसेस, एंटिटीज और लिंक्स, इनका आपस में किस किस्म का रिलेशनशिप होता है. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द द टेक्निकल रिलेशनशिप of different devices and links in a network, how do they actually look like? Before we actually move into that discussion, let's talk a little bit about standards. What are standards? Why do we actually need standards? What are the different categories of standards? And what are the organizations that develop these standards? A standard is exactly something that provides us a model for development that makes it possible for a device to work regardless of its manufacturer. Standard is very important in today's telecommunication world. When you talk about all the different components, all the different telecommunication devices and equipment that are actually there in the market today, they have to be compatible with each other. अगर एक डिवाइस जो कि मार्केट में अवेलेबल है and it's present out here in one of the markets, it's compatible with one of the set of devices, अगर वही डिवाइस किसी और मुल्क में, किसी और शहर में, किसी और डिफरेंट प्लेस पर किसी और सेट ऑफ डिवाइसेस के साथ compatible नहीं है, तो उसकी आउट ग्रोथ में, उसकी मेजर एक्सचेंज ऑफ दैट डिवाइस विल बी हॉल्टेड. उस स्पेसिफिक डिवाइस जो कि एक ही स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स के लिए काम करती है और किसी और स्पेसिफिक कंपोनेंट्स के साथ काम नहीं कर सकती, दोज टू विल नॉट बी एबल टू इंटरऑपरेट. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट अ ग्रेट डील ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड कोऑपरेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ टेलीकम्युनिकेशन. दिस specific cooperation, this specific coordination is only possible if you do have a standard of some kind. A device prepared by a specific manufacturer may not be compatible with the devices prepared by other manufacturers, as I have already explained. ये जो devices एक manufacturers ने prepare की हुई हैं, they have to keep in view that if these devices are used with the other devices that are made by a different manufacturer, they have to be compatible with those devices so that they can be properly made to work together and they are actually compatible. Now, what is a standard is basically, let's try to understand this simple concept by the help of an example. Let's talk about a very common thing that we have in our computer science world. It's modem. You always use the modems when you have to connect to the internet in your computers, basically. Now, what good is a modem if it can only work with the Intel computers and not with the Dell ones? Then, I mean, if the modems are only made to be compatible with the Intel computers, then those specific type of modems are only going to have a limited market. एक specific area होगा customers का, एक specific लोग जिनके पास इंटेल कंप्यूटर्स हैं, सिर्फ वही उन मोडेम्स को खरीदेंगे एंड नॉट द अदर पीपल. द पीपल दैट आर यूजिंग द कंप्यूटर्स फ्रॉम डेल विल नॉट बी एबल टू बाय द सेम specification modem. The similar is the case for a television. The television that you normally have at your homes, basically. ये television जो है, it's of no good if it's only capable of receiving one type of signals. If you buy a specific manufacturer's television and take it at your home, और आपको पता चले कि ये टेलीविजन जो है वो तो सिर्फ एक स्पेसिफिक टाइप ऑफ सिग्नल्स जो है उनको रिसीव कर सकता है, उसके अलावा ये कोई और स्पेसिफिकेशन जो है सिग्नल्स की उनको रिसीव नहीं कर सकता, तो दैट टेलीविजन विल बी ऑफ नो गुड. दैट स्पेसिफिक टेलीविजन विल नॉट बी कंपैटिबल विद अदर टाइप ऑफ सिग्नल्स दैट आर देयर इन द मार्केट राइट नाउ. देयरफॉर आपने इन दो एग्जांपल से देखा कि द अनअवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड्स जो है दैट क्रिएट्स प्रॉब्लम्स एंड दैट पुट्स अ हॉल्ट टू द growth of a specific product in the market, basically. तो फिर क्या किया जाए, हाउ कैन वी एक्चुअली वर्क अराउंड इट एंड टॉक अबाउट डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड्स दैट एक्चुअली कैन हेल्प अस bring out a product and actually try to increase its growth. नॉन स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन की जो एक एग्जांपल है, इसको एक छोटी सी मिसाल के जरिए समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. When we talk about the non-standardized products, the biggest example is of automobiles. गाड़ियां जो आप रोजमर्रा जिंदगी में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, those cars, the parts for those cars are not really available, from a specific manufacturer that can be used for all cars. अगर आप, if you actually are driving a Suzuki, then you cannot actually take out the steering of a Honda and put it in the Suzuki. This is basically the biggest example of a non-standardized products. Now let's look into why standards are essential. हमें standards की जरूरत क्यों पड़ती है, क्यों हम लोगों को ये compatibility जिसके बारे में हमने पहले बात की, इसकी जरूरत पड़ती है. Let's look into it in real detail. Standards are essential for two things. There are two basic things for which we need standards. Number one, we need to create and maintain an open and a competitive market. This market is responsible for the growth of different products. जब भी आपके पास एक compatibility होगी, एक standard होगा, then different companies will come in, will jump in and will try to make the same product that is a standardized product that is being used by everyone. इस specific अमल से क्या होगा कि your competitiveness in the market and your growth and openness in the market will increase, and that will actually increase the growth of your product. Secondly, the standards are essential in guaranteeing national and international interoperability. अगर आपके पास standards होंगे तो your product can work with different kind of systems that are either present in your own country, or it can work with the products that are present internationally, and that will actually result in the growth of data and telecommunication technology and equipment too. So therefore, we need global standards. I mean, the need of the day is that standards should be created such that they don't actually hinder the growth of the equipment, rather than they should encourage the growth of different products. Let's go on the slide and let's try to understand this using a little example, that why we do need standards and why standards are essential. अगर आप स्लाइड में देखें तो you must see a couple of sources and then we have more than one receivers that are present. Basically जो एग्जाम्पल हम स्टडी करने जा रहे हैं, दिस विल ऑल्सो वर्क आउट वेरी फाइन फॉर द नॉन स्टैंडर्ड एंड स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल्स जो कि हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में पढ़े थे. अगर आप उस कॉन्सेप्ट को भी इस एग्जाम्पल से समझना चाहें तो दैट वुड इक्वली हेल्प. तो आइए देखते हैं कि व्हाई स्टैंडर्ड्स आर एसेंशियल. ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड यू कैन क्लियरली सी 4 सोर्सेस रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय S1, S2, S3 and S4. On the receiving side, you can see 3 receivers, D1, D2 and D3. Now on the left hand side diagram, you can clearly see that each of the set of transmitters and receivers has its own protocol. We are using non-standardized protocols on the left hand side diagram. You can witness clearly that without standards, you need 12 different protocols. If you have 4 sources and you have 3 receivers, then you need 4 multiplied by 3 equal to 12 different protocols. Similarly, each device will be needing to implement its own protocol. तो अगर आप देखें तो in this specific case, if you have 4 sources and you have 3 receivers, then you need 2 into 4 into 3, that is equal to 24 protocol implementations. So this is a very small number of sources and receivers. इस specific case में हमारे पास सिर्फ 4 sources हैं और सिर्फ 3 receivers हैं. In our ordinary life and in real time communication systems, this is not normally the case. The quantity of sources, the number of sources and the number of receivers is much more than this specific example. तो आप ये देखें कि सिर्फ 4 सोर्सेज और 3 रिसीवर्स के लिए हमें 12 डिफरेंट प्रोटोकॉल्स चाहिए और 24 डिफरेंट प्रोटोकॉल इंप्लीमेंटेशंस चाहिए, विच इज नॉट रियली प्रैक्टिकल. कमिंग बैक टू द राइट साइड ऑफ द सेम डायग्राम, अगर आप देखें तो यहां पे भी हमारे पास वही 4 सोर्सेज हैं, S1, S2, S3 एंड S4. एंड सिमिलरली वी हैव three different receivers, D1, D2 and D3. इस स्पेसिफिक केस में वी हैव वन स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड प्रोटोकॉल. हमारे पास सिर्फ एक प्रोटोकॉल है दैट इज वर्किंग फॉर ऑल द 4 sources and all the 3 receivers. इस स्पेसिफिक केस में you only need one protocol, as I already told you, it's a common standardized protocol, and you only need 7 different implementations of the same standardized protocol. तो अगर आप दोनों साइड ऑफ द स्लाइड्स को कंपेयर करें तो यू कैन क्लियरली सी कि एक साइड पर, जिस साइड पे हम स्टैंडर्ड्स के बगैर प्रोटोकॉल यूज कर रहे हैं, you have to use 12 different protocols just for 4 sources and 3 receivers, and you have to use 24 protocol implementations. Similarly, in the right side of the same slide, you can see that with standards out there, with standard protocols, you can use the same one protocol and just 7 implementations if you want to make 4 sources and 3 receivers interwork. So my dear students, आप लोगों ने देखा कि how important are standards in our daily life basically. एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल हमने ली with standard and non-standardized protocols, और एक ही छोटी सी एग्जांपल में जिसमें सिर्फ 4 sources और सिर्फ 3 receivers थे, उसी में आपने देखा कि if we are using non-standardized protocols, then life becomes miserable because we have to implement about k into l, that is 4 into 3 number of protocols in there, 12 protocols, and then the total implementations become 2 into 4 into 3, that is 24 different kind of protocol implementations. On the other hand, अगर हम एक प्रोटोकॉल को यूज कर लें तो ये सिर्फ that will reduce our total implementations to just 7, and we will be using only a single protocol. My dear students, this was a little bit introduction of the standards. तो कुछ चलते हैं कि आगे categories of the standards की जानिब. We'll see how many different types of standards are there in the market. Basically, the standards are of 2 types. Number 1 is the de jure standards, and number 2 is the de facto standards. Let's see each of these types into detail. The first type that we are going to see is the de facto standards. The de facto is also the same word as by fact or by convention. De facto standards are those standards that are not actually approved by any legal or organized organization or a legal or organized body, but they have been adapted as standards through their widespread use. They have been adapted as standards because of a convention, because of the facts, because of their suitability to the processes in daily life. The second type of standards is the de jure standards. De jure standards, or the standards by law or by regulation. These standards are the standards that have been legislated by an officially recognized regulation body. ये custom या convention या fact से market में नहीं आए होते, because but people or the legal bodies or the regulation committees have seen these standards to work for the market. So what they do is they actually legislate or legalize those standards for use in the market of different products. Then we have a couple of more subdivisions out here. The de facto standards can be further subdivided into 2 standards. Number 1 is the proprietary de facto standards, and number 2 is the non-proprietary de facto standards. आइए इन दोनों की थोड़ी सी डिटेल देखते हैं. The proprietary standards are those standards that are actually invented by commercial organizations. These commercial organizations are actually the industry and the telecom factory people, or the people who are actually making the products. They actually define some standards, some proprietary standards for the for making their own products or making their own equipment usable in the market. These standards are wholly and completely owned by that specific company that actually defines those standards. And these standards are also called closed standards because they close off communication between systems. These standards are specifically for those equipment and those products that are developed by that specific company. उस specific company के अलावा अगर किसी और प्रोडक्ट के लिए, किसी और मैन्युफैक्चरर की प्रोडक्ट के लिए हम इन्हीं स्टैंडर्ड्स को एम्प्लॉय करने की कोशिश करें तो दे एक्चुअली क्लोज ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, दे स्टॉप और हिंडर अस फ्रॉम कम्युनिकेशन. सो दीज आर आल्सो नोन एज द क्लोज्ड स्टैंडर्ड्स. The second type of de facto standards is the non-proprietary standards. इन स्टैंडर्ड्स को हम ओपन स्टैंडर्ड्स भी बोलते हैं, बिकॉज दे एक्चुअली ओपन कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन डिफरेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स. Non-proprietary standards are the standards that are actually originally developed by groups or committees that have passed them into the public domain. ये standards वो standards होते हैं कि जो different legal organizations और different technical committees actually use them and develop them for use in the market with different kind of products. वो ये समझती हैं और देखती हैं कि they have to have a standard for the proper growth of a specific technology. So what they do is they actually develop a specific standard for that specific technology or that specific product and then pass that standard into the market until it becomes used by the public domain. The standard organizations, before we actually move on, we have to look into a little bit about who actually makes all these standards. जब हम committees, organizations और different किस्म की entities की बात करते हैं, तो वो कौन सी ऐसी organizations हैं जो कि ये standards define करती हैं, जो कि ये standards बनाती हैं, that actually make these standards international and that allow us to use our products internationally and that allow actually the national and international compatibility. There are three basic type of organizations that make or develop standards. The first type of organization are the standard creation committees. There are different committees that we will talk about in a little bit. हम कुछ committees को discuss भी करेंगे. ये वो committees हैं जो कि standards को develop करती हैं. The second type of committees that actually develop standards or organizations that develop standards are the different technical forums. These forums actually discuss different specific technologies and then try to make some standards for these technologies. Third type of organizations that actually develop standards are the regulatory bodies. Regulatory bodies are actually the government bodies and they try to legalize communication. To start off with, let's look into a little bit about the standard creation committees. Standard creation committees are procedural or government, mainly government, but mostly procedural bodies that are actually slow moving. It's similar to the fact that they are actually trying to create a standard, and it has to go through so many steps that the creation of standards is actually very, very slow, and they can't cope with the fast growing communication industry. So I mean, this is a specific scenario in which they have to make the standards, and this is fixed, so they can't move faster than our communication industry is moving right now. Then comes the forums. Basically, forums are actually a little fast moving. They are more developed and they are more publicized as compared to the standard creation committees. They are not so procedural bodies. Their process goes a little fast. So what they do is they try to develop standards for a specific technology and then they give their suggestions and conclusions to the standard creation committees so that they can develop standards fast. Let's go through a couple of standard creation committees. थोड़ी सी standard creation committees को देखते हैं कि कौन सी committees ऐसी हैं जो कि actually ये standards को create करती हैं और कौन से famous standards हमारे पास हैं जो कि इन्होंने अभी तक develop किए हैं. The first standard creation committee that we are going to study is the ISO. ISO is the International Standards Organization. ISO is a voluntary association. It's a voluntary organization that was actually created in 1947. Although it's a voluntary organization, it's not a government or any legal kind of an organization, but it draws its members from approximately 82 different countries. Those members are mainly from the standard creation committees of different countries. Or what they do is they try to devise a standard, and then once that standard is discussed in that specific international standards organization, different standard committee members from different countries vote on that standard. और अगर voting के दौरान ये standard approve हो जाए, then it is made legal, then it is made public. A very famous standard for made by ISO, जो कि हम आगे जाके study भी करेंगे, is Open System Interconnection Model, OSI model. OSI model is the basic reference model that we are going to be using for making our standards. OSI model जो है वो हमारा एक ऐसा reference model होगा जिसको throughout the course हम उसको discuss करते रहेंगे, उसकी different layers को, उसके different functionalities को हम discuss करेंगे. That model was originally implemented and given by International Standards organization. Then comes the ITUT, International Telecommunication Union, Telecommunication Standardization Sector. ये जो हमारा ITU है, that was actually made in response to the incompatibility of international products. By 1970s, a lot of companies dropped into the telecommunication business. They started working on telecom. They started devising standards about telecom. But still, there was a lot of international incompatibility between these standards. ये सारे standards internationally आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ काम नहीं कर सकते थे. What was the solution to this? Actually, United Nations raised up, and it devised a specific committee that was a member or a division committee of its International Telecommunication Union, and that committee was called Consultative Committee for International Telegraphy and Telephony. This committee was devised to make all those standards that are in use in 1970 and then onwards, and then it started off making standards for the compatibility, international compatibility of different telecommunication products. In January of 1993, this CCITT, or Consultative Committee for International Telegraphy and Telephony, was renamed, and it was now called International Telecommunication Union Telecom Standards Sector. Then let's briefly look into some major standards that ITUT has developed. It has developed a V series, V32, V33, V42, and these are the standards that actually define data transmission over the telephone lines. Then another important series of standards given by ITUT is X series. It is X25, X400 and X500, and these standards define transmission over the public digital network. फिर ISDN का नाम आपने सुना होगा. We will also go through the details of ISDN, Integrated Services Digital Network. This is also a standard that was given by ITUT. Then comes the American National Standard Institute, ANSI, ANSI. American National Institute seems to be, from the name, it seems to be a government association, American National Standards Institute. It is not. It is not a government institution. It's totally a private non-profit corporation that is working for the international compatibility of telecommunication products. The members of ANSI include the professional societies, they include industrial associations, they include government people, and they include the regulatory bodies. ANSI is basically developing those standards, and it submits its proposals to the ITUT that we have already discussed, and is also a voting member for USA and ISO. मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया कि ISO में तकरीबन 82 कंट्रीज से डिफरेंट किस्म के डिफरेंट स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन कमेटीज के वोटिंग मेंबर्स होते हैं दैट एक्चुअली वोट ऑन अ स्पेसिफिक स्टैंडर्ड बिफोर ISO कैन मेक इट पब्लिक. तो ANSI जो है, ANSI, American National Standard Institute, is a voting member for USA in the ISO. Then we have the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, IEEE. IEEE is the biggest professional organization in the world at the moment. It's a combination of, it's an institute of basically electronic and electrical engineers that have combined together, and one of the functions of IEEE is also to foresee the development of telecom and wireless related standards. एक बहुत ही important standard जो कि IEEE से हमें मिला, that came out of its a project 802 is the LAN standards, the local area networking standards, 802.3, 802.4, 802.5. इन चारों स्टैंडर्ड्स को और बेसिकली प्रोजेक्ट 802 को हम अगले लेक्चर्स में जाके स्टडी करेंगे. बट व्हाट दे हैव डन इज दे हैव गिवन अस द स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर द compatibility, international and national compatibility of local area networks that are present throughout the world. तो ये कुछ स्टैंडर्ड क्रिएशन कमेटीज थी जिनको हमने देखा. ये कमेटीज जो हैं, दे आर बेसिकली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर डेवलपिंग एंड मेकिंग पॉपुलर द इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर टेलीकम्युनिकेशन इक्विपमेंट एंड प्रोडक्ट्स. अब मैंने आपको पहले भी थोड़ा सा जिक्र किया कि all these standard creation committees are inherently procedural bodies. They are basically steps. आप अगर इनकी डिटेल में जाएं, if you go through the textbook and try to study these, तो आप देखेंगे कि there are a number of steps through which a standard has to go through before it can be made public. Standard पेश होता है, then different people discuss it, then stage comes when different people have to submit their comments on it, and then people try to vote on this. And then this is a long process. It takes a long time to actually make standards or these standardization committees to dictate standards. So they are inherently slow. अब हमारी telecommunication industry is so vast and it's so abrupt moving that standards are coming almost they are coming very fast. So what do? They basically go to forums. Forums are basically special interest groups that have representatives from interested companies that are basically interested in that specific kind of technology. These forums actually fasten and facilitate the standardization process. They work with the universities, they work with the users, they test, they evaluate, and they standardize new technologies. They actually also provide funding to the universities and different specific users to analyze and test new technologies, and each forum concentrates on a specific technology. तो इससे क्या होता है कि when they start working, different forums start working on a specific technology, तो उस specific technology की जो growth है वो थोड़ी सी fast हो जाती है. These analysis, these evaluations are then provided to the standard creation committees and they are finally developed into the form of standards. आइए कुछ important forums को देखते हैं. We will discuss these forums in real detail in the later lectures, but let's at least go through them once. One of the important frame relay is a very popular wide area networking interconnection technology, जिसको हम आगे जाके देखेंगे कि किस तरह से frame relay जो है it provides a connection between two devices that are present far apart. But for now we are just talking about a forum. The frame relay standard was given by the frame relay forum basically. Then we have an ATM forum, asynchronous transfer mode. So this was also another one of the forums. Then we have Internet Society, that is actually provides us the standards for the internet. The same Internet Society works in cooperation with the IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. तो ये सारी वो टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं जिनके बारे में शायद अभी आपको मालूम ना हो, बट व्हेन वी गो थ्रू द एज वी ग्रेजुअली मूव थ्रू द कोर्स, तो आपको लेटर ऑन वी विल डिस्कस फ्रेम रिले, वी विल डिस्कस asynchronous transfer mode or ATM, and we will discuss the functions of Internet Society and IETF and what are the different modifications and standards that they define for the internet. But basically at this specific point you should know that these are the forums, and as the name clearly indicates, a specific forum works for only a specific technology. Frame relay का जो forum है, it only works for the betterment and standardization of the frame relay technology. Similar is the case for ATM and similar is the case for internet forums. Then comes regulatory agencies. Now standards can be made by those organizations, these standards can be made by forums or by standard creation committees, but ultimately all communication technology is subject to regulation and laws by the government agencies. तो ये government agencies जो हैं इनका basically जो protection that they have to provide or they have to regulate these telecom standards, because they have to protect the public interest by regulating all these radio, television and cable communication. तो ये कुछ lawful agencies और कुछ regulatory agencies होती हैं that can actually talk about or come into play when you have actually developed a standard and then you need it to be regularized or legalized under the regulatory agencies. This was our discussion of the standards. हमने थोड़ा सा standards के बारे में पढ़ा. We looked into two categories of standards. We basically saw why we need those standards, why are they essential in our life, and then we also went on to study some of the organizations that actually make these standards. My dear students, this was this specific topic of the standards actually ends our discussion of the basic introduction that we were actually trying to give to data communication. जो मैं शुरू से एक बात करता हुआ आ रहा हूँ आपके साथ कि we'll try to have a enlarged overview of all the different stuff that we are going to have, और फिर हम slowly gradually move करेंगे towards the explanation of each of them. तो ये this ended our discussion of that specific scenario. अब we will move to the next step. Before we actually talk about the data transmission, before we actually discuss how data is actually transmitted from one device to the other, technical details क्या हैं इसकी, we have to actually look into some specific relationships between the devices and the links. When you talk about a network, when you talk about different devices and links connected together, तो वो ये devices और links किस तरह से एक दूसरे के साथ connect होती हैं. It's not like you have a simple communication line that's running all the way from Pakistan to say England or say USA, and then whoever wants to be connected to the internet can just jump or hook a wire onto that internet. That's not the case. There should be a specific a way in which the devices that are present on a specific geographical area can be connected to the links that are running in between. So in this relationship को define करने के लिए we have 5 concepts that we actually will talk about. Let's go into these concepts one by one. The 5 concepts that we will talk about are line configuration, the topology, the transmission mode, the categories of networks and the internetworks. आज के बाकी मांदा लेक्चर में we will go through the concept of line configuration. Line configuration क्या चीज होती है? What are the different categories of line configuration? Why do we actually need a line configuration when we actually are talking about different devices and links? तो ये हम आगे चलकर देखेंगे. So what is line configuration? Line configuration refers to the way 2 or more devices attached to a link. Line configuration से हमारी क्या मुराद है कि when you are actually talking about a specific net devices and a number of links, तो किस तरह से ये devices जो हैं ये links के साथ connected हैं, that actually defines our line configuration in a. Before we actually move on with the concept of line configuration, let's talk a little bit about the devices and the links that I have just referred to. मैं एक बार दोबारा line configuration को define करता चलूं. Line configuration refers to the way in which 2 or more devices connect to a link. What is a link? A link is a physical communication path that transfers data from one device to the other. हमने link को पिछले lectures में भी define किया था, and I am explaining it once again. Link can just be thought of as a line drawn between 2 points. एक 2 specific points के दरमियान आप एक imaginary line draw कर दें, then that specific imaginary line will act as a link between those 2 devices. The line that connects those 2 devices will be known as a link between those 2 devices. Ab, why do we actually need a link? For communication to occur, we need to have 2 devices connected by a link. It's not similar to, I have already explained that it's not similar to the human communication. For human communication, you don't actually specifically need those 2 individuals to be connected together. Of course, they will be connected together, those sound waves that travel in air, but for 2 specific devices to be connected together, you need to have a link, some kind of transmission medium that acts as a physical path between those 2 devices. Now, when you talk about line configurations, there are 2 different possible line configurations in the networks. First one is a point-to-point line configuration, and the other one is a multi-point line configuration. ये 2 different type के तरीके हैं. There are different methods. There are 2 different methods using which devices can connect to links in a network. So let's go into the detail of each one of them, and let's explain each of them by looking at a couple of examples. The first type of a line configuration is the point-to-point line configuration. अब point-to-point line configuration क्या होती है? It's a type of line configuration in which there is a dedicated link between 2 devices. What do we mean by dedicated? Dedicated means the link that's connecting those 2 devices that's only there for the use of those 2 devices. There are no external intervening or external interruption agents that are there that actually interrupt in that the communication between those 2 devices. So a point-to-point line configuration is the one that has a dedicated link between those 2 devices. Now, what happens when you have a dedicated link between those 2 devices? अब direct or dedicated link का मतलब ये होता है कि when you talk about the channel capacity और उस ट्रांसमिशन मीडियम की जो भी कैपेसिटी है, उस कैपेसिटी को या उन रिसोर्सेज को वही दो डिवाइसेस शेयर कर सकते हैं. दीज resources in this capacity will only be used for the transmission and reception between those two devices. No one else is going to be there who will share the resources and the capacity of that specific link or the specific resources that are available between those two devices. Most point-to-point communication uses cables, but we have some other important media too. So let's go to the slide and try to find out कि जी हमारी जो specific point-to-point communication होती है उनमें how do we actually provide a dedicated communication link between two devices. As you can see on the slide, the point-to-point line configuration can be actually established by using multiple type of links. आपको first part of the diagram में top पे if you can look, there are two workstations that are connected by a simple wire or cable. These two workstations are directly connected without any other intervening agent or without any other device that actually needs to share this link. Second device maybe, if you look at the specific link, it's a link between a mainframe or a server and a workstation. इस स्पेसिफिक डिवाइस में भी, इस स्पेसिफिक पार्ट ऑफ द डायग्राम में भी यू कैन क्लियरली नोटिस कि हमारा जो लिंक है दैट इज अ डायरेक्ट वायर और अ केबल बिटवीन दैट वर्क स्टेशन एंड द मेन फ्रेम. अब ये लिंक मैं पहले भी आपको पिछले लेक्चर्स में कुछ ब्रीफ कर चुका हूं कि दिस लिंक, दिस वायर और अ केबल, इट कैन बी ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. आर मीडियम थ्रू विच द सिग्नल ट्रेवल्स और कैन बी ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. दिस कैन बी अ ट्विस्टेड पेयर केबल, this can be a copper cable, this can be a coaxial cable, it can be an optical fiber, or let's go to the third part, it can be a microwave link, it can also be a satellite link. तीसरी diagram में आप देखें कि you are actually trying to connect two workstations, but this time these two workstations or the link between these two workstations is provided by using a microwave link. इसके बाद अगर आप तीनों figures पे गौर करें तो you will see that there is a this path or this link that is between these two devices on each of these cases. इस तीनों cases में ये जो link है that is a dedicated link. There is no other device that is actually sharing the resources or the capacity that's in these three links. तो ये एक added advantage है of this point-to-point line configuration. Now let's also look into a couple of disadvantages that we actually get with the point-to-point communication. Not actually disadvantages, but what are the different parameters or different scenarios that prevent us from using the point-to-point communication. मैंने आप लोगों से पिछले lectures में भी इस बात का जिक्र किया था कि there are a lot of cases when you don't actually can provide a point-to-point link. And the devices may be very far apart. There it's very difficult, जैसा कि आप लोगों ने पिछली slide में देखा, it's very difficult to provide a point-to-point link between two devices that are either present in one city and the other one present in the other one. और similarly, अगर एक device एक मुल्क में मौजूद है और दूसरी वाली किसी और मुल्क में, तो it's almost impractical to provide a point-to-point link between those two devices. इसके अलावा एक constraint point-to-point links के provision में ये भी है कि there are unlimited number of devices. If you talk about the different telephones, number of telephones that are present in the world, similarly, if you can see the computer terminals, a number of computer terminals that are present in the world, so it's very difficult to provide a point-to-point link between each of those devices. ये बिल्कुल भी मुमकिन नहीं है कि जितने भी कंप्यूटर्स पूरी दुनिया में मौजूद हैं, जैसा कि वो इस वक्त एक नेटवर्क यानी इंटरनेट को यूज करते हुए आपस में कनेक्टेड हैं, we are able to actually connect them using each of them using a point-to-point link. Before we can actually finish with the discussion of point-to-point link, let's move on to the slide once again, to the same slide that we actually looked at, and let's try to have a couple of examples of the point-to-point line configurations that we have already seen. Once again, agar aap if you look at the top two figures in which there is a wire or a cable connecting the two workstations and connecting a workstation and a mainframe. So a very good example of this kind of a system is a TV remote control. When you actually try to change the channel of your TV using your remote control, you are actually developing a point-to-point communication link between your TV remote control and the television control system. Similarly, another good example of a point-to-point line configuration would be the link, a microwave link between the mobile phone and the base station. When you are actually talking on a mobile phone, your mobile phone will have a point-to-point link between itself and the base station antennas. अब my dear students, this was one scenario. हम लोगों ने देखा कि what do we mean by a point-to-point line configuration, and we also discussed a little bit कि कौन से ऐसे scenarios हैं कि जहां पे point-to-point line configuration जो है वो possible नहीं है. So what is the solution to this problem? The solution to this problem is the multi-point line configuration. In multi-point line configuration, different devices share a link. We no longer have a dedicated link between the two devices, but what we do is different devices combine together and share a single link and share the capacity and the resources of that link. Now let's go to the slide once again and try to look into what do we mean by a multi-point link. जैसा कि आप स्लाइड में देख सकते हैं, हमारे पास एक ही लिंक है with a mainframe or a server acting on one side of it, and there are 3 workstations that are connected to that specific link. आगे चलकर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में हम देखेंगे कि ये जिन स्पेसिफिक कनेक्शन के साथ ये वर्क स्टेशन इस लिंक के साथ कनेक्टेड हैं, वी कॉल दी स्पेसिफिक कनेक्शंस टू बी ड्रॉप लाइंस. द स्पेसिफिक कनेक्शंस of these drop lines with the links are known as taps. We'll look into that when you go to the later lectures. Now, what happens to the channel capacity in this multi-point line configuration? Now, with shared capacity, there can be only 2 possibilities in a multi-point line configuration. Either all the devices are using the link simultaneously, or they will take turns using this link. अगर हमारी डिवाइसेस जो हैं वो दे आर एबल टू शेयर द लिंक साइमल्टेनियसली और कंकरेंटली और एट द सेम टाइम, देन वी कॉल दिस टाइप ऑफ कैपेसिटी शेयरिंग टू बी स्पेशली शेयर्ड लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. सिमिलरली, इफ द डिवाइसेस मस्ट टेक टर्न्स यूजिंग द लिंक, then this type of sharing is known as temporal sharing or time shared line configuration. My dear students, this was a little bit of the discussion about different types of line configuration. Next lecture में हम इसको थोड़ा सा और elaborate करेंगे. But before we actually close on with today's lecture, let's try to summarize what we have already gone through. My dear students, we started off today's lecture with a discussion of standards. हमने देखा कि standards क्यों बनाए जाते हैं, why do we actually need standards, why are they essential, why can't we actually survive in the telecommunication or the data communication world without standards. Then we actually looked into the different categories of standard. कितने किस्म के standard जो हैं वो available हैं हमें. उसके बाद हमने देखा कि what are the different standard organizations that are responsible for developing standards. 3 किस्म की standard organizations हमने पढ़ी. One of them was standard creation committees. Then we looked into different forums. Then we discussed the regulatory committees. उसके बाद we tried to look into what is the relationship of the devices with the links in a network. हम लोगों ने उस relationship को basically समझने के लिए कुछ 5 concept का जिक्र किया, and we discussed the first concept in today's lecture. The concept was line configuration. We saw what do we mean by line configuration, what are the different categories of line configuration. हमने point to point कनेक्शन को डिफाइन किया, हम लोगों ने मल्टी पॉइंट कनेक्शन को डिफाइन किया, एंड देन वी डिस्कस्ड अ कपल ऑफ टाइप्स ऑफ चैनल कैपेसिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इन द मल्टी पॉइंट लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, द टाइम शेयर्ड लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन एंड द स्पेशली शेयर्ड लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. So my dear students, before we can actually move on with today's lecture, let's go to the slide and let's try to find out what are the suggested reading for today's lecture. The suggested reading is section 1.5 and section 2.1 of Data Communications and Networking, second edition by Behrouz A. Feroza. My dear students, before we actually finish with today's lecture, आइए कुछ नज़र डालते हैं कि नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में हम लोग क्या स्टडी करेंगे। हम लोगों ने आज की डिस्कशन जो है उसमें वी स्टार्टेड टू डिस्कस द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन डिफरेंट डिवाइसेस एंड लिंक्स इन अ नेटवर्क। डेटा ट्रांसमिशन का कॉन्सेप्ट डिस्कस करने से पहले हम लोगों ने ये कहा कि हम इस रिलेशनशिप को स्टडी करेंगे दैट एक्चुअली मेक्स अस एस्टैब्लिश अ कनेक्शन बिटवीन दोज डिवाइसेस एंड लिंक्स। इस डिस्कशन के सिलसिले में वी लुक्ड इनटू द फर्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इज द लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कॉन्सेप्ट। लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कॉन्सेप्ट में बताता है कि डिवाइसेस, डिफरेंट डिवाइसेस एक नेटवर्क में लिंक्स के साथ कैसे कनेक्टेड होती हैं। वी ऑल्सो लुक्ड इनटू डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन। हमने पॉइंट टू पॉइंट लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन को देखा, उसको थोड़ा सा डिस्कस किया। देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट द मल्टी पॉइंट लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन। फिर हमने मल्टी पॉइंट लाइन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन की दो डिफरेंट टाइप्स पढ़ी डिपेंडिंग अपॉन इफ द resources or if the users can share the capacity simultaneously or they take turns in sharing that capacity. My dear students, next lecture में we will actually look into a little further concepts in developing a relationship between different devices and links. हम लोग देखेंगे topology क्या चीज़ है, कौन सी different topologies हैं जो कि हमें available हैं that we can use in our network to connect different devices with different links and how to actually configure those devices. फिर हम कुछ transmission modes के बारे में देखेंगे, how many devices can link together and which device should transmit at what time and what device should actually listen. उसके बाद हम थोड़ा सा we will look into the categories of different networks. आपने मेरे कुछ पहले एक या दो lectures में you have gone through the different categories of network. हम लोगों ने local area networks, LANs और wide area network, WANs discuss किए थे, that we talked about as the most important types of networks that we are available with. तो next कुछ lectures में हम इन दो types को भी elaborate करेंगे और इसके अलावा एक और type metropolitan area networks और MANs को भी देखेंगे कि ये तीनों जो networks की types हैं ये किन हालात में या किन specific situations में और geographical पैरामीट्रिक एरियाज में ये तीनों जो नेटवर्क की टाइप्स हैं ये यूज होती हैं। उसके बाद वी विल ट्राई टू डिस्कस अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट द इंटरनेटवर्क और वी विल एक्चुअली हैव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ द इंटरनेट के व्हाट इज एन इंटरनेट, हाउ इट इज कनेक्टेड, हाउ कैन यू एक्चुअली कनेक्ट टू डिफरेंट नेटवर्क्स टुगेदर। अभी तक हमने सिर्फ नेटवर्क की बात की कि दो या दो से ज्यादा डिवाइसेस को लिंक्स के साथ मिलाकर वी एक्चुअली मेक अ नेटवर्क। नाउ व्हाट इफ वी हैव मोर देन वन नेटवर्क्स present together, how to actually interconnect more than one networks in the form of a internetwork, ये भी हम लोग कुछ स्टडी करेंगे। My dear students, आप लोगों ने आज का लेक्चर सुना, उम्मीद है आपने आज का लेक्चर एंजॉय किया होगा। If you have any questions or any problems regarding today's lecture या आपको कोई भी सवाल हो from the suggested reading, जो बुक के पोर्शंस मैंने आपको पढ़ने के लिए वक्तन फवक्तन देता रहता हूँ, उनको अगर पढ़ने में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो तो प्लीज डू नॉट हेजिटेट टू ईमेल अस। एंड एक और पॉइंट जो मैं क्लैरिफाई करना चाहूँ कि दिस इज नॉट द सजेस्टेड रीडिंग्स आर नॉट एक्चुअली द ग्रेडेड पार्ट ऑफ द असाइनमेंट्स। मैं आपको जरूर बताऊंगा और यू विल एक्चुअली रिसीव ईमेल्स फ्रॉम अस व्हेन यू एक्चुअली हैव अ ग्रेडेड होमवर्क असाइनमेंट प्रॉब्लम, बट दीज आर फॉर योर ओन गुड। अगर लेक्चर सुनने के बाद आप इन असाइनमेंट्स को एक बार रिव्यू कर लेंगे तो आई एम प्रीटी श्योर के यू विल एक्चुअली हैव अ वेरी good concept of what you have gone through in the lecture. So dear students, this finishes our today's lecture. उम्मीद है कि next lecture में आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी। तब तक के लिए इजाजत दीजिए। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।